Travel iPod.
Travel iPod. All right, and go ahead.
Okay. So our problem definition was that travel books give the users information they don't want and can't understand while on the field. So usually we thought that travel books were used to plan your itinerary, but once you actually get there on the field, then they're sort of useful, like for filling in the blanks between your locations that you want to get to and where you are. So our solution was the Travel iPod, which is sort of a digital solution, but we felt that it would offer like vast sort of benefits over like actually using a book. So the first thing would be that you actually plan your itinerary beforehand online, and then instead of giving you like the lump of information for an entire country, you'd say like, these are my locations or whatever, and then you click download and it would save it to your Travel iPod, so you don't have to have internet access. And then you could update your itinerary every time you had internet access.
So all the data that you would be putting onto your iPod wouldn't necessarily just be like travel writers who go around writing crap about places that they think people want to pay to see, but more for people who have actually been there and write about little nooks and crannies and places that they think are really cool. So establishing kind of a whole travel community online and kind of going online, and while you're picking your itinerary, you can look through their pictures and kind of like dial into those locations that may be off the beaten track, that are places of interest that aren't featured in mainstream travel guides.
Okay.
Right, so another important feature that I thought was pretty cool is that travel books or just maps in general just overwhelm you with information. So what we tried to do was limit the presentation of what you need, but not really reducing the content that you will find useful. So for example, if you look at a Travel iPod screen, you can navigate it and you can see, like, for example, only one or two bus lines at once, so that you're not overwhelmed by a whole transit map. You just have one or two bus lines that you think might be useful, and you can go off that. It's really easy to use and user-friendly.
So basically we want to focus on like an emphasis on like pictorial representations rather than words. Because with pictures you can also, point to the people who need any help. So it's kind of like a source that's tailored to your own needs.
It's sort of interactive too, because you're going to be connected to the internet and you add to the community, and everyone now likes to take a bazillion digital photos, and that would sort of be in tune to the Travel iPod database. So every time you're at a location, you'd have access to those photos built on the database.
So every time you synchronize, it adds to the database of information, also pulls in information to your iPod?
It's community-based.
Okay.
And one really specific thing that we dialed into is how maps are really hard to use and directions are really hard to use because they're either text-based or you're looking from a sky view like a bajillion miles in the air. So one way to present that information would just be pictorials, where you have like one picture of the street you're on, and there's like a giant red arrow that's just like go straight. And then once you're done with that, you click go, and then you have your next picture, which is like go over the bridge or something, and then you have the next picture, it's like go into the tunnel, and then at the end there's like have a beer because you're there.
So visual directions.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Cool.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.